Good. So we will be studying TikTok images with a particular focus on tool visualization and analysis techniques, which ImageJ affords and which I think are attuned very well to the specificity of TikTok as a platform, and well, also attuned to the specificity of its visuality, its cultures of use. First of all, what is ImageJ? I'm seeing another question. Okay, Anna is just checking whether everything is working. So ImageJ, and I mean, Elena explained already that ImageJ is a software tool, a free software tool developed by the Software Studies Initiative, known quite well for the work of Lev Manovich and colleagues. Well, and what it does is basically enables, ImageJ enables the exploration of patterns in large image data sets. So it can be used to measure, sort and visualize image metadata, and it does so by running the so-called macros, such as image plot and image montage. So what's a macro? I didn't know, so I Googled, and in the context of computational methods here, a macro is a set of instructions that perform a particular task, right? So in conceptual terms, this task corresponds with the analysis of data at scale, at the macro level, so to speak. Image plot, for instance, is a .txt file, a script in a way, that enables the software to arrange the image data, the images, in space. And at the same time, this macro perspective, as we can also learn from these macro photography metaphors, in a way goes hand in hand with the ability here to shoot big close-ups, so to speak, to zoom in and out of the panoramic view of the image data set in question, right? So, and all these definitions feed into the cultural analytics perspective on exploring large image collections, right? So what ImageJ and image montage macros enable us to do is the exploration of visual data on multiple scales. And we can understand this scalability in terms of both unique and common patterns that emerge from the combinations of different image characteristics from different metadata types that we can encode into our visualization. How can we adapt this perspective for studying images that are generated by users and distributed by platforms? First of all, visualization techniques aiming at the exploration of patterns, which is what image plot does. These techniques allow to expose repetitions in the composition of relations between social media artifacts, between images and their related metadata. These relations are always platform specific, as we will see. They shape and are shaped by user cultures and communicative styles, and they change over time which means that we can only achieve a rich understanding of images as platform vernaculars, as platform-specific communicative languages, by combining different types of image data. So, on the one hand, data that pertains to the visual features of image content, and that can be measured, right? Like hue, saturation, brightness. Also, the content of the image itself, something that can be, labeled or tagged using AI-driven image recognition. So this is the one type of, let's say, image internal data. And then we have this interactive metadata stemming from platform-specific environments of the images, such as hashtags, likes, timestamps, links, and on TikTok, very important, sounds, right? So, since we are studying a TikTok data set, another central component of visual cultures on this platform is imitation and replication. TikTok imitation publics have multiple layers, visual, auditive, interactive, and we will explore these layers as mediated through images by looking at this particular case. So this is Curtis Roach, who has been bored in the house during the first wave of the pandemics. And Curtis went viral with his TikTok song published in March 2020 as part of this video, and I'm just going to play it for you so that you have an idea of what we are looking at here.
Okay, I'm bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the motherfucker in the house bored, and I'm bored in the motherfucker in the house bored. Bored in the house, bored in the house bored.
Okay, so this is Curtis, right? And if we look at the metrics attached to this audio meme, right? So on TikTok, it's like quite an important platform feature. If we look at all the content connected through this particular sound, what we see is like over 3 million of videos attuned to Curtis's board in the house board. Yeah. So while I was preparing this workshop, I was thinking, how can I narrow this down and focus on just one particular aspect of this process of, mimification. And I decided to look at the moment when the sound became a hashtag and scraped only the videos that were published in combination with the hashtag board in the house. And I think I can see a comment or a question. No questions. Okay. So yes, the way I extracted data was driven by a hashtag-based query in this case. This is the story behind our data set, and what we are going to do now is to use ImageJ in order to get a sense of these three aspects of being bored in the house on TikTok. So the temporality of bored in the house going viral as a hashtag. Then the patterns of imitation as mediated through video thumbnails. And if we have time, we probably will not have time, but a girl can dream. We can try to look at the at the gestural qualities of video content itself. And in order to do so, we might need to use FFmpeg to, to deconstruct the video in video frames, right? And then analyze it using image montage. So we are going to start with the temporality. Okay, I can see a newbie's question. How do you know a TikTok went viral? What is that criteria? So, well, I guess a TikTok goes viral as soon as it gets many views. Let's start with like a typical virality in terms of the amplification of the visibility of content. Right. So as soon as a post receives engagement in a way, we can speak of a certain type of virality. So what happens quite often on TikTok is this virality of sounds. And in this case, the sounds created by Curtis Roach went viral before the hashtag actually did, because many people were kind of using the sound to, combine it with their own videos. And this is really, well, a platform-specific affordance of TikTok as a platform. But so I was thinking of using the sound as an entry point to create this data set, but I mean, I didn't want to scrape like 3 million videos. And I'm very much also into, thinking analytically about how to scale down, right? So how to make sense of a dynamics of sharing content on social media platforms according to specific qualities of this content. And here I decided to go for the moment when the sound became a hashtag. And we are kind of also going to look at this particular moment by using ImageJ. And by looking at this temporality. So I hope I could respond to your question. Good. So to start actually working with our data, what we need is a spreadsheet with TikTok metadata, the one you just copied and put your name on. So let me just see if this worked. I can only see Rita creating a copy, but maybe I have to update. Let me see. Okay, Rita and Sophia. So please, in order to, to be able to work with our data here, please copy this spreadsheet and create your own workspace, because if everyone is going to arrange stuff in the same spreadsheet, we are going to have a small problem there. Yes, also what you kind of need to know about working with ImageJ, you really, the main work is happening in the spreadsheet itself. So you kind of have to go through some of the measurements tasks, some of the rearrangements of images in order to visualize your data in correspondence with your research question. And this is what we are going to try to practice. I'm looking at the chat. Okay, Geraldine has copied the spreadsheet to her drive. It's also fine, obviously, of course. Good. So yeah, let's just actually open these boards in the house original scraper output and look at what is going on there. So this is how a TikTok scraper output looks like. A good way to start working with a spreadsheet is to freeze the first row. I always forget this, so I'm kind of impressed by myself right now. So just, yeah, freeze the first row. So it kind of enables you to, you know, sort your data and arrange it. Then let's say I'm not going to download the images one by one. Also, because you really need to keep this in mind when you are working with TikTok data, the image URLs expire like within an hour. So as soon as you have downloaded, as soon as you have scraped your data, please make sure that you arranged your images in the order pertaining to your research question. So you might want to look at the temporality of your data set. Then please arrange the images by the logic of create time. If you think, okay, you want to then maybe later work, let's say, with image sorter and maybe look at the images that were most liked, arrange your data set by the logic of engagement metrics, because the order of the images as they download can then help you to make sense of your data. So in this case, we are interested in the logics of temporality. So we are going to work with this column create time. And as you can see, it's not really human readable. It's a timestamp. And a timestamp is machine readable time. So if we want to understand like what's going on here, we might want to translate the timestamps to human readable time. And for this, in the walkthrough, you are going to find a link to Epoch batch conversion tool. So we just open it. And what we are going to do is just to, I'm sorry for the banner advertising here. So what we are going to do is just copy I'm kind of looking for my spreadsheet, maybe I close it somehow. No, here it is. We are going to copy the column create time and import it to the Epoch batch converter. So just select it, click on Command C, and import it, and just click on Convert, but make sure that you have selected the output file. In our case, it's quite good to work with a CSV file, or you can also work with a screen output that you can then copy and paste into your spreadsheet, as you prefer. So you just convert it, and you can download it then later. So here you already see it has been translated into human readable time. It will save the file on your computer, and you can then just open it and copy and paste. Just a second. I see my screen only partially, so this is kind of a problem here. And copy and paste it, this human time column, to your original scraper output column. So by inserting one column, right? And I'm just, using the already analyzed scraper output to speed up the process a little bit. What you can also do, and I mean, you don't need this specific time and indication for to work with image plots, but you might need it for working with image montage. So what I did here is basically I manually, created the column indicating the year and the column indicating the month of posting, and just copy and pasted the data in accordance with the time here. So what I would suggest you to do is just to copy all these three columns, make sure also that it is already sorted from A to Z, and select Command C and copy it in here. So creating three columns, also making sure that the order is correct, and just copy and paste it. So this human time is important in analytical terms, because this should be, in this case, the logic of downloading the images. And this is also how I downloaded the images that you will find in this folder here, in the folder TikTok boards in the house, 1841 time. So can I indicate is, okay, the images, 1,841 images that have been downloaded to this folder have been downloaded by the logic of temporality. So as soon as you have your images in a local folder, I can see a question. Could I show one more time how to download the human time data? Yes. So it's basically copy and pasting the column with the timestamps in, let me just go back here. So your timestamp list, and opting for a comma separated file, and click on convert. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not. Please don't opt for a CSV file here. Please opt here. Yes. So convert epoch dates to human readable dates. Select .csv file and click on convert. And it's converting your time, not your time, but the timestamps, and saving it as a .csv file on your computer, which you can then open and copy and paste the results in your spreadsheet. Okay. Good. So then the next thing that you want to do is, and it's kind of crucial, I mean, there are many very technical steps that involve copy and pasting here. But you, so now you have sorted all your data in this spreadsheet by the logic of time, by clicking on here, sort sheet from A to Z. Then you downloaded the images as explained here in this walkthrough. I'm not going to download everything with you, also partially because the image URLs have already expired. But it's explained here basically step by step. So as soon as the images are downloaded, they are saved in a folder, in a local folder on your computer. And here it is. And you download them basically in a numerical order also, which corresponds with the logic of temporality. And you do so by specifying here in down them all manager the mask, the idx dot asterisk axt asterisk x. I can't pronounce it, but you know, you can just copy and paste it, and it should work. But this is how you specify that you want to download the images, not by the name of the image URL, which is like a long row of numbers and letters. This is how you specify that you want down them all to rename the images and give them a unique identifier, a unique numeric identifier. So then you copy and paste, you select like all the images in this folder, click on Command C, and basically create a new column next to the image URLs that you have used to download the images. And then you paste the image file names in a new column. On Mac, it's just really Command C and Command V. If you are working on a Windows computer, it takes some steps in between. I'm not working on Windows, so I can't show it to you, but there is like a tutorial for doing that when you are using Windows, a Windows computer. So the main task here is to basically get your image file names into your spreadsheet. So again, I'm just copy and pasting them from the already analyzed sheet and putting it into our unprepared spreadsheets, the original scraper output. So I think I'm just going to create a new column here and just copy and paste it. Okay. So this is how you start to prepare data in your spreadsheet. Then we want to start using ImageJ to create some measurements that we want to combine with our platform metadata. In this case, we will be working with time. So how do we create these color measurements spreadsheet? We will work with the folder of images that we just downloaded, this one, and you have, I hope you managed to download it in a local folder. Then we open ImageJ. I just look for it. So here it is. We open ImageJ, and we select a macro, and we want plugins, macros, and we run. So then we have to search for another folder.
Elena, sorry.
Yes. Oh, you probably only see my, I'm sorry, I know. You probably see only my Google Drive folder. Yeah. I will stop share and reshare it again. So this should be working. You should now see the folder of images and my desktop. Is this correct? Can I get a yes or no? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Fantastic, thanks. Okay, so let's start again. ImageJ. Now you should see it. Plugins, macros, run. Then you can search for a folder called, so in my case, I saved it here, for a folder called image plot master. And as soon as you have this folder, you just opt for the extras and select image measure.txt. This is the macro that we are going to work with. And you open it, and then it will ask you for the folder of images to perform, the measurements on. So you just look for the folder that you just saved locally. In my case, it should be somewhere here. Yes, so this is our folder containing 1,800 and something images that we are going to analyze. We just open it. And then it asks you, okay, Elena, where do you want me to save these measurements? Is there a question? I'm sorry. Or is this just me resonating with something?
Yeah, it was echo.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. So yeah, just opt for wherever you want to save this file and go and open. So now it performs these measurements. And this will result, so it's performing, it will take some time, and it will result in this measurements.txt file. So we are not going to wait for ImageJ performing these measurements. So I'm just going to stop it. You also have this measurements.txt file. You can find it in the folder that you have downloaded from here, the folder called measurements, right? So as soon as you have this file, what we want to do is to import it into our spreadsheet. And for this, please just rename measurements.txt into measurements.tab. So, which indicates that it should be a tabular file that we can then import in here. So then you just go to our original scraper output, select add a new sheet, and go for file. Are you able to actually see my Google Drive also? Is it okay? Before I continue?
Yes.
That's great. Okay, so import. It's kind of slow. Upload and drag and drop the measurements file. And then ask Google to replace current sheet, and then just import data. Okay, so this is where we are. And this is the moment where it kind of gets tricky. And it's quite important to fix this issue in a way. So what we see right now is like a mismatch in the file names and image IDs. So the image ID is a numeric order of downloading the images, basically. But the problem is, you see, the actual file 1000.jpg does not correspond with the image ID. So the measurements might be, so if you would opt for this column and think, okay, the order is correct, it will mess up the whole logic of your visualization. So just delete it. And what we are going to do now is to sort the images in the right order, because the measurements need to correspond then with the images as they are arranged in our original spreadsheet. So how can we do this? We just create a new column. Again, we freeze the first row, Command C, paste it and call it file name numeric or whatever you prefer. And now you want to, to sort your data, but you first need to get rid of this .jpg ending. So just go for file, for edit, find and replace, find .jpg, replace with nothing, and click on replace all, and then done. Then you can actually sort your sheets from A to Z. And what it does is basically it arranges the images in the correct order. So now we don't have this problem with, having 100.jpg and then 1000 and so on. So now the measurements should correspond actually with the file names that we have here, right? With the image number, and the image number, as you remember, corresponds with the logic of time. Good. So then we in order to prepare like some options for visualizing or for plotting our images, we want to add the column create time, because image plot is working with timestamps, not with the human time. But just for our orientation, just let's copy and paste both columns. Create 2 more columns and copy and paste it. Check just to make sure that everything is in the right place. Okay. And then we now can plot our images in accordance with 2 coordinates, the temporality, and then, for instance, the average hue, which would give us, this type of visualization. So basically the color arrangements, right? Or we can, opt for maybe brightness. It depends really on the type of the data set that you are looking at. Or if you are interested in the logic of, visibility of content, you obviously also can create or copy and paste a new column, which is the column, the so-called dig count on TikTok. And it's basically, it's just the count of likes, right? So dig count corresponds with this metric. here. Okay, so let's just copy, return to our spreadsheet. Yes, and copy this dig count metric to make our data input more diverse, and then we can opt for a specific logic of visualization. So yes, we are done here with our spreadsheet preparation, and now we want to download this spreadsheet file locally and make it readable for ImageJ. And in order to do so, we download it as a tab separated value, so as a .tsv file. And I mean, I have already downloaded it, and you will find this file. Here it is. So it's also like named. It's a file that we can use for image plotting, and it has the logic of temporality encoded in it, the likes and the color arrangements that we just calculated. Okay, so and you also have this file if you download it, the folder from the Google Drive. Okay, so let's finally go ahead and try to visualize our data. Again, please open ImagePlot. Oh, sorry, ImageJ. Here we are. Okay, so now we again want to use a macro, another one. So plugins, macros, and run. So now we want to use a .txt file called ImagePlot, and for me, I just go back again to software and look for this folder ImagePlot master. And this is where you will find this ImagePlot.txt file. Okay. So how is this going? Are you okay with the steps? Am I going too fast?
Just fine.
Just fine. Okay, thank you. Yeah, then let's just open it. So there are like some predefined settings in here, but we want to be a little bit more detailed. So we want options. We want choices. So let's just click options and click OK. Then ImagePlot will ask you for, well, the file that we just created. Let's have a look at this file, this tabular file with the measurements that we just created. So here it is. So just select it. And then it wants you to specify the folder of images to be analyzed. And we are going for our folder here. Yeah, and just click open. So now it wants, yes, image, you to specify the image file name. This is quite important that we check it. So as far as I know, it's, if we look at the tabular file that we just created, and we created it according to the same logic as here. So these are our file names. So don't use the file name numeric, use the file name to specify where image plot can find the images. And then we want to specify two things. The x-axis, where you want to use timestamps, the create time column. So this one. Then we want to work with color arrangements. Maybe since it's TikTok, maybe we want to explore the use of filters, whatever. Let's just opt for the average hue museum. And good, click OK. Then ImagePlot wants us to specify the options that we want to configure, and just leave it like that. We want to see canvas, and we want to see images, not as data points, but as actual visual artifacts. Click OK. And then it wants us to specify the canvas width and the canvas height. I just suggest you to check the walkthrough where you will find some screenshots, right, that you can just imitate here. Depending on how you want to plot your images. So if you want to plot your images for for a presentation, you can Google the measurements that correspond with the width and height of your slide in pixels. If you are like creating a visualization for a research article, you might want to plot the images in another format like A4. So just Google again the pixels to specify this format. So in this case, we just using the presentation format, and yeah, let's specify the numbers for width and height, border size. You can always play around with it. The background colors. So this is the grayscale, basically, right? So if you go here, you will have the white background. If you go here, you will have the black background. So let's just, we want maybe a white one. Good, click OK. Then we want to specify the size of the images. Right, and well, again, it's something that you can play around with, but for this type of like size, canvas size, I would suggest to work with 30 pixels. You can opt for a smooth resize. If you want image frames, you can opt for that, but in this case, I think we don't need any. Yes, and then just click OK, and let's hope that it works. So for me, it does, and what you can see is how ImagePlot now arranges the images in space. Using the logic of basically it's a scatter plot. Right. So while it's working, I'm just going to talk you through this logic a little bit. Okay, a question. Awesome. No question. Yeah, this is the kind of feedback I want to get. Good. So let me just explain you what's going on here. So what ImagePlot is doing right now, it's plotting the images as like a scatter plot. The median hue values, the color arrangements are arranged on the y-axis, and the time of posting encoded through timestamps is well arranged on the axis. And what it gives us then here is this type of visualization. And maybe it's like good also to know how to interpret it. So this is not the kind of visualization that helps you, you know, to perform in a way content analysis. This visualization is about the spatial distribution of images that helps you to get a sense of the viral takeoff of our TikTok boards in the house meme as mediated through hashtags. So, and what we can look at when we are designing this visualization is the more dense areas. We can ask, okay, what do these areas stand for? The outliers, the sparse areas, and then the color clusters, since we encoded the average hue to perform our analysis. So when we look at the dense and the sparse areas, we can say that our hashtag boards in the house, it already existed, as you can see, in November 2019. It existed as an outlier. So it was just a video of someone, you know, having fun in the house while being bored, but it didn't really take off. But then Curtis Roach happened in March 2020. And as you can see, so Curtis Roach posted this sound meme, and it took some time for this, well, you know, event to get viral as a hashtag. And if we look at our temporality, we can see that the first here, the video of Curtis Roach, it was posted like 2 weeks before the actual viral spread of these meme. And this is why here in our visualization, we have these very, very dense areas in, we have like the end of March, April, and May. And then if we interpret this area, we can say, okay, it was in a way a short-lived viral outburst of hashtag mediated posting, because starting with 2021, we just have like a very occasional rhythm of people using this meme as a hashtag, which doesn't mean though that it doesn't exist as a sound. So at this particular type of analysis, we are looking at the transformation of the sound to, you know, to a hashtag, which also makes this trend in a way searchable. So, and then we want to look at the color clusters defined by the average hue. We see that here these slices, they are dominated by skin colors, so very typical mundane TikTok visuality focusing on body images. Then we have some magenta colored filters. And then, and this is kind of funny in this particular case, since it's boards in the house meme, but what we actually see here is also being boards outside the house. So the blues and the greens, like of people going outside during the pandemic and, you know, doing stuff and posting it to TikTok. So, okay, my computer is really very slow, as you can see. So I'm just going to stop this work done by ImagePlot. And what I want to show you, because I have like, you know, we do have many options here. And what I'm thinking about tomorrow, I'm going to give another workshop on meme analysis, and maybe this will be the workshop where I will walk you through this option. which is an image montage option. But for now, I just want you to, I just want to show you how to create this type of image plot visualization that shows the images as data points. Why might this, how can this help us? So sometimes you don't want to, visualize stuff. You are just interested in the temporality of something, for instance, and you're interested in the distribution of images, and this might help you also to, when you're writing an article, sometimes the zooming in the images and out of the images just doesn't work. So you might need to opt for another modes of visualization, and this might help you. I can see a question in the chat. Will this recording be shared with us? Yes, it will. It will after the sprint. Okay, so let's just use our time to create this second type of visualization, and you will find the step-by-step guideline also here. So let's open ImageJ again. Again, opt for plugins and macros and run image plots.txt again, but then we will encode different kinds of information. So let's find image montage, image plot. Here it is, and open it. So now you want options, but you also want to open your .tsv file with the measurements here. And this is where you can specify it. Okay. Question. Okay. So yes, another question, no question, good. Yes, images, you don't want to show the images, so you just opt for none. And image plot is not going to render the actual, the data points as the actual visual artifacts. Good, then you just click OK, and it will ask you again to select the coordinates, and you again opt for create time and for the average hue, since it's the logic that we opted for. Or, you know, if you want, we can play around a little bit, since we also encoded the count of likes. So we might want to see the distribution of images in accordance, not to on the y-axis, not in accordance with color arrangements, but with in accordance with engagement metrics. So we just opt for the count for the count of likes on the y-axis, and click OK. Then you want to opt for canvas and for points. So in order for image plots to know that you want your data points to be actually represented. Yes, and then again, specify the same coordinates for the width and the height of your canvas. Or the size, and here now opt for the black background to create like a visual effect. Yes, points, this is where you can opt for the point style. Yes, it can be just a circle or a filled circle, a rectangle, and so on. Feel free to play around with these options and select point size. And since we have the black background, we want the points to be white. So leave these measurements as is. And then, yes, click OK. And the image plot will then again ask you something about the images. Let's just say, OK, again, the width 30 pixels and smooth resize, although it is not going to show, hopefully, the actual images. And then just click OK. And here you go. So as you can see, we end up with a slightly other visualization because we opted here for the logic of likes. So the images, so this is basically the most liked video thumbnail, right? And these are the videos that also constitutes the outliers, so they received lots of engagement. But as you can see, how does the virality of something, let's say, register in terms of rhythm, right? So virality doesn't necessarily mean that all this content that has been shared received lots and lots of engagement. And this is quite typical for every data set. The actual viral takeoff means a very dense rhythm of posting, right? So people kind of trying to imitate stuff in order, you know, to get the viral fame on TikTok. And also, if we look like at our data set, and this is something quite TikTok specific, you will see that almost every video here has been shared with the hashtag for your page, because so, and a good way of exploring your data set, I'm just going to show it to you. So just copy and paste here your hashtags column and just use a simple word cloud to see, okay, what's going on in there. And copy and paste and say, okay, you want to see the minimum frequency of, yes, 10. A maximum number of words to show, let's say maybe 100, and show the frequencies and visualize. So, and yeah, what you are going to see is obviously, okay, board in the house was the hashtag that we used as an input. So usually if you analyze something, I would use board in the house as a stop word here. So don't show it because we know we are going to find this in our data set. But as you can see, so almost every video here has been posted with for your page and for you. And there is, which is the main page of TikTok with the recommended content. And there are many speculations on what is it that makes your content go viral and actually end up on this page. Most certainly, it's not the hashtag itself, but many people, like many TikTok users, actually, in order to indicate the viral potential, they use this hashtag. Which also, this is also quite interesting. This one, XYZBCA, this is like a secret TikTok code, so to speak, although it's more like an urban myth for your content going viral. So Upworthy writes a lot about this this hashtag. Yeah, so as you can see, viral fame is something that every user on TikTok wants to achieve. And this is why we end up here with this type of visualization where you can see, okay, only few videos received some engagement. Most of the videos did not. Right. Okay, chat question. Who writes about the Upworthy? It's like a clickbaity site. Let me just Google it for you. I'll just. I remember while exploring another data set related to Donald Trump. Oh, here you go. It's actually here. Distractify also writes about it. Why is everyone using this hashtag on TikTok? So, and basically it's another equivalent to for your page, but it's like, you know, secret. But also it's a speculation rather than a real indicator of virality on TikTok. Although, you know, the more a hashtag is getting used, the more searchable it gets. The more people search for this hashtag, the more visible the content gets. So there is well, an indirect correspondence maybe between user practices and the actual way that TikTok well selects content for being recommended. But this platform is really not transparent in terms of well, it's not, let's say it's not Facebook page rank, sorry, Facebook edge rank. It's that is explained in a way. But yeah, TikTok is not transparent about the ways in which their algorithms recommend content for your page. What we know about is that you can quite soon end up in like an algorithmic rabbit hole if you experiment a bit with following only specific kind of content. So TikTok is very much involved in polarization and amplification of content.